हाय हेलो डियर फ्रेंड्स, कैसे हैं आप? हाउ इज़ योर वीक्स गोइंग? कैसे पढ़ाई कर रही हैं आप लोग? हाउ इज़ योर एग्ज़ाम्स? एंड अभी एग्ज़ाम स्टार्ट्स भी होने वाले हैं मेरे ख्याल से। आई एम नॉट श्योर कि इस साल आप लोग की ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में मॉक एग्ज़ाम्स कैसे शुरू हो रहे हैं, बट आई एम श्योर कि थोड़े दिनों में क्लासेस रीओपन की भी बात चल रही है। अगर सब कुछ ठीक रहा, वैक्सीनेशन के जिस हिसाब से सक्सेस रेट चल रहा है उस हिसाब से सही रहा, तो बहुत जल्दी शायद स्कूल ओपन हो जाएंगे पूरे तरीके से और आप लोग फिर से अपने क्लासेस में जाएंगे और क्लासेस करेंगे। एंड आई एम श्योर इट वुड बी फन एंड यू ऑल पीपल आर जस्ट वेटिंग एवरी मोमेंट कि आप लोगों की फुल फोर्स में क्लास शुरू हो जाए, फिर से वही शोरगोल स्कूल। एंड आई एम श्योर यू वुड एंजॉय योर डेज एज 2 years बैक। लास्ट टाइम हमने ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी को लेके बात कर रहे थे एंड आई हैड ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू कि ये 2 सेशन हम लोग ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी को लेके बात करेंगे, सीइंग दी present scenario of the world, the post covid basically 2020 2021 कैसे शेप अप हो रही है। और ये इकोनॉमिक्स के लिए, वर्ल्ड वाइड इकोनॉमिक्स के लिए दिस 2 year इज़ डेफिनेटली अ बिग बूस्टिंग। केस स्टडीज़ चलेंगी इन 2 सालों पे कि कैसे वर्ल्ड वाइड इकोनॉमिक क्रश हुआ है, कैसे फिर से रिवाइव हुआ है। तो एज एन इकोनॉमिक स्टूडेंट आप लोगों को ये जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है। आप लोगों को ये जो ये चल रहा है, मतलब जो आप लोग एक्सपीरियंस कर रहे हो, जो आप लोग ये देख रहे हो कि कैसे वर्ल्ड वाइज कैसे इकोनॉमिक्स रिवाइव हुआ है, कैसे क्रैश हुआ था, कैसे फिर से रिवाइव हो रहा है। आई एम श्योर इन कमिंग डेज जब आप लोग मे बी 10 years डाउन द लेन और 15 years डाउन द लेन, व्हेन यू पीपल ऑल विल बी सक्सेसफुल इन योर डेफिनेटली योर ओन डिस्टाइंड एंड डिफाइंड फील्ड, तो आप लोगों को ज़रूर ये याद आएगा ये जो फेज़ हम लोग सारे चल रहे हैं, दिक्कतों से चल रहे हैं, लेकिन फिर भी हम लोग ने अपने आप को डट के, वी आर ऑल डिटरमाइंड पीपल, वी आर ऑल डिटरमाइंड टू गो अहेड ऑन दिस लाइफ। और इस जो 2020 2021 एक पैंडमिक जो एक बहुत बुरा असर चला वर्ल्ड वाइड, इसको हम कैसे कोप अप कर रहे हैं, कैसे हम लोग फिर से इकोनॉमी को लेके चल रहे हैं आगे। तो आई एम श्योर कि इन कमिंग डेज आप लोग के बहुत काम आएगा एंड फ्यूचर ऑल्सो, जब आप लोग +12 के बाद जैसे आप लोग जो भी इकोनॉमिक्स को लेके, प्योर इकोनॉमिक्स को लेके पढ़ने वाले हो, या जो भी आप कॉमर्स ले रहे हो या बिजनेस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन लोगे, कुछ भी आप ले लो, बट ये जो 2 साल है, दिस इज़ अ वेरी रिमार्केबल एंड डेफिनेटली अ चेंजिंग फेज ऑफ नॉट ओनली आवर लाइफ बट ऑल्सो वर्ल्ड वाइज, इकोनॉमी वाइज, इट इज़ अ चेंजिंग फेज। तो आज हम लोग क्या करेंगे, फर्स्ट हाफ में हमने लास्ट जो हमारी स्पेशल एपिसोड थी बेसिकली 2020 के बारे में हम लोग ने बात की। 2020 में कैसे हमने इकोनॉमिक क्रैश होते देखा है, कैसे वर्ल्ड वाइड से नॉट ओनली दी दी लो इकोनॉमी कंट्रीज बट ऑल्सो द डेवलपिंग एंड सुपर डेवलपिंग countries has been crashed, they had completely crashed worldwide। कैसे लोगों की जॉब गई है, कैसे most of the people are working in a recession time, कैसे 30-40% की कट they have managed to survive and still surviving, and how in 2021 how it has been an uncertainties to us, कैसे हमारी इकोनॉमी अनसर्टिनिटी के पॉइंट अभी भी चल रही है, अभी भी हम रिवाइव करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, अभी भी बहुत सारे एंटिसिपेशन है कि हाउ 2022 विल वर्क। ये पोस्ट वैक्सीनेशन वर्ल्ड वाइड कैसे हम लोग रिवाइव कर सकते हैं, कैसे हमारी जो इकोनॉमी थी, कैसे हमारी जीडीपी थी, कैसे हमारी पर कैपिटा इनकम थी, उसको बढ़ाया जाए, इसके बारे में हम लोग बात करेंगे। इसके बारे में हम लोग आगे भी देखेंगे कि कैसे हो रहा है। तो आज हम क्या करेंगे, हमारी ये जो एपिसोड है इसमें हम लोग बेसिकली 2021 हाउ द अनसर्टेनिटी स्टिल एग्जिस्ट एंड हाउ द अनसर्टेनिटी स्टिल वेइंग द 2021, we'll talk about it. So let's go to the presentation and I'm sure you are enjoying this video। आपने last session भी मेरे ख्याल से काफ़ी enjoy किए होंगे, तो please don't forget to like, share and subscribe this video। Don't forget to share this to your friends, those who are studying economics। Don't forget to like so that I can bring up more and more interesting facts of economics to you, more and more interesting fun facts, more and interesting concept, आपकी concept clear कर सकूँ economics इस छोटे छोटे सेशंस के थ्रू। तो चलिए प्रेजेंटेशन की ओर चलते हैं और आज 2021 का हम लोग प्रेजेंटेशन करेंगे ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी वाइज कि कैसे हमने इसके बारे में हम लोग कैसे कर सकते हैं। तो बेसिकली उसी 2021 की आउटलुक जो है, अगर आप वो देखोगे, सबसे पहले जो हम बात करेंगे वो ये है कि इट इज़ बेसिकली ईयर एंड अ हाफ सिंस द ऑनसेट ऑफ कोविड-19, आप लोगों को पता है, एंड द ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी इज पोस्ट इट स्टेज इट मोस्ट robust post-recession recovery in 80 years in 2021. But the rebound is expected to be uneven across countries as major economics look set to register strong growth even as economy develops economic lag. तो आप देख रहे हो कि इस साल भी कितनी अनसर्टेनिटीज़ है पोस्ट कोविड। 2020 तो डेफिनेटली इकोनॉमिक क्रैश हुआ था, बट वी हैड एंटिसिपेटेड कि 2021 से देयर विल बी क्वाइट अ सर्वाइवल। द ग्रोथ फैक्टर वुड बी अबाउट 4.61 to 5.61, जो रिवाइव करेंगे जीडीपी इकोनॉमी वाइज रिवाइज करेंगे, नॉट ओनली वर्ल्ड वाइज बट पर कंट्री। जो डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज है वो काफ़ी आगे बढ़ेंगे, सुपर डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज जो है दे विल रिवाइव देयर ओल्ड कॉन्सेप्ट। एंड आई अंडरस्टैंड कि एक बार ये आपको भी पता होगा कि एक बार जीडीपी क्रैश हो जाने से, एक बार इकोनॉमिक क्रैश हो जाने से इट रियली टेक टाइम्स कि कैसे आपकी इकोनॉमी फिर से बढ़ाई जाए, कैसे आपकी इकोनॉमी फिर से आगे बढ़े। बट आई एम श्योर कि दो वी हैड anticipated lot about 2021, but still it is giving a very uneven outlook. The outlook is towards uncertainties, and worldwide economics are in real they are in real questionable position कि कैसे होगा, कैसे हमारे 2021 में और अच्छे से हम रिवाइव करेंगे, अच्छे से हम रीग्रोथ करेंगे, ताकि हमारी जो पहले की जीडीपी थी, पहले की जो ग्रोथ प्रोसेस थी वो हम कंटिन्यू कर सके। बिकॉज लाइफ इज़ कंटिन्यूअस प्रोसेस, और अगर हम बीच में रुक गए और उसको आगे ना बढ़ा पाए तो इट वुड बी अनसर्टिनिटी, नॉट ओनली इकोनॉमी वाइज बट डेफिनेटली individual wise. So what is the next thing is that, like, global growth is expected to accelerate to 5.6 this year, largely on the strength in major economics like United States and China. And while growth for almost every region of the world has been revised upward for 2021, many continues to grapple with COVID-19 and what it is likely to be it's a long shadow. Though the super developing countries have already started reviving, the developing countries have already started developing more, they are going towards the continuous progression, they are trying to cope up with these uncertainties. But there are many countries, there are major countries, there are major low income countries which are still grappling with this COVID-19. Despite this year's pickup, the level of global GDP in 2021 is expected to be 3.2% below the pre-pandemic projections, and per capita GDP among many emerging market and developing economics is anticipating to stay below pre-COVID-19 peak for an extended period. So what we are actually anticipating is that though there will be definitely a comeback, a major economic progression would be there, but still we are still under the process, and it will be like this. pre-covid में हमारे जो भी pre-covid में जो भी हमारी sustainable position है, उस position तक जाने के लिए it will at least not only take 2021 but I'm sure 2022, अगर सब कुछ सही रहा, if the vaccination process continues and we have actually tried coping up with this COVID situation, अगर ये process धीरे धीरे कम होते रहा और हमारी वैक्सीनेशन सक्सेसफुल हो गए और भी, बट till then भी it will take about almost another extended period, almost about 1.5 year to 2 year to return back to our existing pre-COVID position. As the pandemic continues to flare, it will shape the path of global economic activity. The United States and China are each expected to contribute about 1/4 of the global growth in 2021. The US economy has been bolstered by massive fiscal support. Vaccination is expected to become widespread by mid-2021, and the growth is expected to reach 6.8 this year, the fastest pace since 1984. China's economy, which did not contracted last year, is expected to grow a solid 8.5% and moderate as the country's focus shift to reducing financial stability risk. And it is not only with China that they will try to shift its reducing financial stability risk. I think each and every developing country, each as every super developing country will try to regenerate their economic activity, will try to grow up with more. If you see the present market scenario, more and more companies are becoming online these days. If you see not only education, that we are imparting education through online, but you will see most of the companies every day you will find that hundred of new apps are being introduced, mobile apps have been introduced, online marketing has been introduced. And in today's world, if you see, the online marketing, the digital marketing is one of the most important flare throughout worldwide. So not only the individual economy of the country, they are trying to strengthening or trying to recope with the COVID situation, but globally if you see that we have found an major and an enormous, we have seen that the online countries, the online channels, the online marketing facilities has increased. And I'm sure in coming year the GDP that will increase of a fair percentage would be on the basis of these global online companies which are turning up each and every day. They are opening up of app, they are giving a various new products to each and every individual of a country and worldwide, and this will definitely add up with the GDP of any of the country's economy. So you see there are various other factors that will help up. See, education is one of the main thing that now they are going on. And not only education, you will find the major industry that has boomed in 2020 is definitely the medicine, the pharma industry. If you see that the people has got more respect for pharma industries in this worldwide, because post COVID we had come to understand that this medicine and the medical industry has to be more robust, has to be more strong worldwide. Now, what is the lasting legacy? If you see the lasting legacies, the growth among major marketing and developing economies is expected to accelerate by 6% this year, helping by increased of an external demand and higher commodity prices. However, the recovering of many countries is concentrated by resurgence of COVID-19, even vaccinations, and a partial withdrawal of the government economic support measures. Excluding China, growth is anticipated to unfold at a modest of 4.4% in a space. So in a longer term, the outlook for emerging market and developing economics will likely to be dampened by the lasting legacies of the pandemic, definitely, and erosions of skills for lost works and schooling, sharp tourist investment, higher debt burdens, greater financial vulnerabilities with their. But definitely when people has lost job, there has been a major, most of the people have taken a debts because they continue, the show must continue, so the life has to continue. So there are n number of budgets and number of expenses that has to run on. So there would be definitely higher debt burdens, there would be great financial vulnerabilities, there would be sharp drop in investment, because definitely for the last 2.5 years, I'm sure when the COVID has set in, no people have, there would be hardly in a very very nominal percentage of people may have done few investment in this couple of years, but the higher debt burdens would be more and the greater financial vulnerabilities would be definitely there. Growth among this group of economies is to focus by 4.7% in 2022 as government gradually withdraw policy supports. Among low-income economics where vaccinations has lagged, growth has revised lower than 2.9%. It is very nominal, nothing to talk about it. Setting aside the contraction last year, this would be the lowest phase of expansion in 2 decades. The group out level in 2022 is projected by 4.9% lower than pre-pandemic projection. Fragile and conflicted affected low-income economics have been the hardest hit by the pandemics, and per capita income gain have been set back by at least a decade. Regionally, if you see regionally, the recovery The recovery is expected to be strong in East Asia and Pacific, largely due to the strength of China's recovery. In South Asia, recovery has been hampered by serious renewed outbreaks of the virus in India and Nepal. The Middle East and North Africa and Latin America and Caribbean are expected to post growth too shallow to its offset to contraction of 2020. So sub-Saharan African recovery, while helped by spillovers from the global recovery, is expected to refrain fragile given the slow pace of vaccinations and delay to major investment in infrastructure and the extractive senator. So you see, you will definitely understand that since there there are various part of the continents and the various part of globally who are majorly paced across, and they have their own pacts. You will see that few major countries, a few developing countries like super developed countries like USA and China will definitely try to set aside and recoup with the 2020 pandemic, and they will be coming up more strong. They will try to come up more strong. And then there are low income capita economic, like you will find the East Asian you will find the African companies or the South American companies, or you will find other few major low per capita income countries. They will have to face this 2021 definitely in a very slow phase projections, because since the vaccination has been lax, the vaccinations has been in majorly done in the all the super fast countries, super fast economics like UK, USA, France, USSR. They are all have been developing in a huge way the medicines and doing the vaccinations. Even countries like India is a developed country nowadays, and definitely China has already revived its growth, but still they are still stuck up with the the waves, the outbreaks of the vaccinations again and again. So we'll find that the overall, if you see, the growth of the economy will definitely have a major setback. 2021 will definitely face uncertainties, and I'm sure, seeing the present market scenario, I'm not very I won't be very judgmental. However, I won't be saying the exactly there will be this point of uncertainties, because these are all forecast based on seeing the growth pace of the world, why they had been majorly has been forecasted by seeing the statistics definitely. So I'm sure that we will keep our finger crossed that 2021 went well, and so that we have a more regrowth and regenerations and a continuous progress about 2022. But as already said, and as already it has been experienced, and through a previous previous year keeping in mind, and 2021 keeping in mind, the growth pace would be definitely at a slower phase, and I'm sure 2022 will even face the same outlook, and we will see the growth. Definitely there would be a continuous progress, but the progress wouldn't be that much that we had anticipated pre-COVID. It will take time. It will take about 1.5 years to 2 years to get back to our old self, get back to our old you can say pre-COVID situation. The growth per capita of the country, per capita of the world, it will definitely take time. So what we have also seen is that, like we have already spoken, that uncertain outlook. If you see the June forecast, this 2021 June forecast assume that advanced countries like will achieve widespread vaccinations for their populations and effectively contain the pandemic by the end of this year. Major emerging markets and developing economics are anticipated to substantially reduce new cases. However, the outlook is subjected to considerable uncertainty. A more persistent pandemic, a wave of corporate bankruptcies, financial straits, or even social unrest would derail the recovery. At the same time, more rapid is stamping out of COVID-19 and great spillover from advanced economic growth would generate more vigorous global growth. Even so, the pandemic is expected to have caused serious setbacks to development gains. Although per capita income growth is projected to be 4.9% among emerging marketing and developing economic this year, it is forecast to be essentially flat in low income countries. Per capita income lost in 2020 will not be fully recouped by 2022 in about 2/3 of emerging markets, and developing economics include 3/4 of fragile and conflict affected low income countries. So by the end of this year, about 100 million people are expected to have fallen back in extreme poverty. This adverse impact have been felt hardest by the most vulnerable groups: women, children, and unskilled and informal workers. So you see, by 2021 and developing by 2022, though the worldwide, if you see, there would be definitely a recuperations of the economic growth. The global economy as a such will definitely regain, will try to regain their GDP or the global economic growth. But the fragile part of the country, the vulnerable group like women, children, unskilled and informal workers, they will go into extreme poverty. There is definitely an anticipation that about 100 million people are expected to have fallen back in extreme poverty. So if you see in this global information, if in this global inflation, which is in actually has given us a definitely a very serious setback, you will see that we will not only, though there will be there we will try the to go through this temporary and this inflation and find out the global growth and get to the rapid success, but then there would be definitely serious other implications, seriously other you can say expectations will remain well anchored, and there would be monetary wise, there would be the burden, the financial burden would be huge, the uncertainties would be definitely there, and most of the people will definitely go below the per capita income. If you see the worldwide, there is another thing that has been looping up at this point of time. If you see, the major thing is that, see, the climbing food cost is another one of the major problem. If you see the rising food prices and acceleration agitating the inflation may compound rising food insecurity in low income countries. Policymakers should ensure that rise inflation rates do not lead to de-anchoring on inflation's expectations and resist using subsidies or price controls to reduce the burden of rising food prices, as this rising add to high debt and creating further upward pressure on a global agriculture price. So overall, you will see that the climbing food cost is one of the major issues at this point of time, because since the recovery in global trade after the recession last year, an opportunity for emerging markets and developing economics to bolster economic growth, trade costs are on average one half higher among the emerging markets and developing economics than advanced economics, and lowering them would boost trade and stimulate investment and growth. So you see the between all this relief from pandemic and between all this relief from the pandemic and the growing and during the vaccinations, the policymaker has to be definitely think on a long view. They have to they have to basically, you know, reinvent the kind, reinvent, you know, the human capital, the expanding accelerations to digital connectivity. As I have already said that you will find a major outbreak in a digital media, there would be more higher expenses on digital media. The online companies will be more into, you know, they will be more into recognized power now. And if you see the future in 2000, not only 22, 2021, we have already started seeing that online is one of the major it is one of the major ways they are coming worldwide in each and every field, each and every sector, each and every industries you will find. If you see, particularly if you talk about our own country, if you see, we for the last couple of years, I think if you talk about food costs, Zomato and Swiggy is one of the company that they had really, you know, flourished between this COVID situations, because people have actually stopped going outside, but food is something which is already, which has to be there. So people have started taking online, and seeing this, you will find that so many new online food deliveries companies are coming at this present scenario. So I am sure it is not only on one sector, but if you will see that each and every sector at this point of time, the online business are been flourishing. The online business are more into prominent and ensured keeping in ahead in 2021 and 2022. Online would definitely add a major in the GDP, major in the global economy worldwide. So the policies maker have to definitely think about this, you know, digital connectivity and investing in a greener infrastructure to bolster growth along a green, resilient and the inclusive path. So it will take a global coordination to end the pandemic through widespread vaccinations and careful microeconomic stewardship to avoid crisis. And until we get there, we have to be very careful. We have to be, very vigilant on our situations, and we have to think about it. You have to, as an future, as a responsible kids, you have to also think about the future expenses. The budget has to be very carefully made, and it has to be executed. So that, keeping in mind the 2021, I'm sure each and every one of us are going through a very difficult situations. There may be already financial burden on your, financial burdens will be going on to our partners or to our parents, or through ourselves. So we have to be very careful in putting the footstep forward, keeping in mind that 2021 definitely give a more bright and promising global economy, and 2022 definitely shows us the actual GDP has increased, and it should lead us to the pre-COVID situation where the global economy has beautiful growth across. And I'm sure, keeping in mind this line, I will end the session this time. I'm sure you had learned some good concept about the global economy, and in coming days it will definitely help you out to understand a brief outlook about the global economy that we are going through this phase. So with this I'll end the session here. आप लोगों को आज का दिन बहुत अच्छा जाए, और हम लोग फिर से नए और भी नए फन फैक्ट्स के साथ लेके आएंगे. प्लीज़ आपकी जो भी पर्सनल कमेंट्स हो रिगार्डिंग ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी और समथिंग दैट यू वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड इन अ मोर फेयर पॉइंट और मोर विविडली, यू कैन जस्ट कॉन्टैक्ट मी ऑन माई ईमेल आईडी. और प्लीज़ इस वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए, शेयर कीजिए और सब्सक्राइब कीजिए अगर आपने मेरी चैनल ऑलरेडी सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया. एंड कीपिंग दिस थिंग इन माइंड, तो आज हम सेशन यहीं पे ख़त्म करते हैं. बहुत जल्दी हम अपनी नेक्स्ट सेशन लेके शुरू हो जाएंगे, एक नया चैप्टर के साथ, नए फन फैक्ट्स के साथ और नया इकोनॉमिक फिगर्स के साथ. तो चलते हैं फिर दोस्तों. आपको दिन बहुत अच्छा जाए. अ वेरी वेरी गुड डे टू ऑल यू, एंड टेक केयर. बी सेफ, बी एट होम, डोंट फॉरगेट टू वेयर मास्क, एंड टेक केयर ऑफ योर सेल्फ. टाटा, बाय बाय.